Well, nothing going on today, really.
Nothing here to see.
Kind of a slow day in the world of sports. If you're just joining us, good to see you, YouTube. The decision has been made.
The decision part 3.
After Saturday, we all walked away saying, well, clearly, this has to be Shedeur Sanders. He outplayed Deshaun Watson. And then the news conference came where Deshaun Watson took a gallon of gas, poured it all over his body, lit a match, and set himself on fire. And then everybody that wasn't sure said, oh, well, that's it. He certainly can't be the starting quarterback of this football team. And earlier this morning, it was reported that the decision has been made, and Deshaun Watson will be announced at 12:15 officially as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in 2026. And that's where we are, Mike.
Yeah, so we put out a tweet saying, this is the news, thoughts. Browns fans, we want to hear from you.
Is it a poll?
We didn't do a poll. We'll do a poll in the YouTube chat. We just said we want to hear from you. I was unable to use a lot of the responses.
Due to language.
Due to language.
Yeah,
but I did find some
text that I can't read too.
I did find some that were appropriate.
Okay.
So let's take a look at them.
Let's take a look.
First comes from MP7350. I've never felt more hollow as a Browns fan.
That's a high bar.
That's a very high bar.
You aren't kidding. We've had some hollow moments.
Man.
Next one, Steve. This comes from T. Batidia. The Browns never make the right decision. Next up, Nick. What do you think the answer is going to be? Let me know when Watson is done. I'm not watching that guy. And lastly, I liked Monken, but this is a fireable offense before the season.
There it is. Honeymoon over.
These are just 4.
Honeymoon over. He hasn't coached his first game yet. Honeymoon over.
Jay, these are 4 of about 150
Did you get
comments that we've gotten.
Any supporting the decision?
Yes.
Oh, there are some out there who still love Deshaun.
I would say it's about 95% anti-Watson, 5%
Did you
pro-Watson
prepare any
decision.
of the pro-Watsons to be read? I'm curious.
Unfortunately, the pro-Watson tweets also included words anti-Shedeur.
Can you paraphrase? Like, what? How is someone co-signing this decision today?
Based off the tweet reactions that we have gotten, it is Watson gives us the best chance to win, and the other options were just significantly worse, is how I would
And one of you guys, I think it was Jay, and you certainly agreed with it, I think, said this decision tells you everything you need to know about what the Browns think about Shedeur Sanders.
If they thought Shedeur was the future, he'd be starting.
100%.
Yeah, no.
That doesn't mean he's not still going to get an opportunity. He can still change their mind because he will. Deshaun's not playing 7. When's the last time Deshaun Watson stayed healthy for an entire season?
2019 or 2020.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I look at it like, I watched him in the second half in that game in the third quarter. And not only was he outplayed by Shedeur Sanders, he was outplayed by the 2 second and third string quarterbacks for the Buffalo Bills and Allen, and I'm not talking about Josh, and Shane Buechele. You got outplayed by Shane Buechele, Shedeur Sanders, who's played 7 whole games in his life in the NFL, and not Josh Allen, the other Allen. Like, bro, I just don't see it. Like, when you come out there and when the boos happen, the body language came. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. And it's not as if we have not seen this in practice. It's not like we haven't seen plays where you're like, bro, where you you talk about he threw a crazy interception in the Bills. Somebody jumped up on the goal line and caught it.
Joint practice.
Joint practice. Let's not act like he was cooking then too. Like, this is the thing that really gets me. And look, hey, do whatever you want to. If I was telling Shedeur Sanders, hey, get ready. And just get your mind ready. And when your opportunity comes, play. But this is bigger than that. Like, this is bigger than, forget, we want Shedeur Sanders to play. I told people like this. For me, this is putting your young players and all of your guys, even Todd Monken, in a terrible position. Because what happens when now people are getting booed, these are young, impressionable people. This is the thing Myles Garrett was talking about, right? Myles Garrett came up into 1-31 and losing and continually making these games loses you credibility. Because what happens now when people see this, and now I got to answer, Quinshon Judkins got to answer questions about boos. Harold Fannin Jr., boos. Hey, listen, Spencer Fano, what do you think about your starting quarterback? You protect him every day. They're going to ask them questions. And then what are they supposed to do? Say, yeah, I don't like the fans booing. Now you putting me in the mix. Nah, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Go out there and play these young dudes. And if you plan on losing some games, at least you can lose with the fan base still intact, as if they're not going to be hanging around for pitchforks for 6, 7, 10 weeks of the year.
G, let me ask you this, or anyone can answer, but Browns fans in theory should be rooting for the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back of the jersey, correct? If you're a Browns fan, you root for the Browns to win, for the Browns to succeed, regardless of which player is at which position.
Allegedly.
Now that Deshaun has been named the starter and we're getting a live look at the feedback from the fan base about that decision, and taking into consideration Deshaun Watson's press conference on Saturday, which we could dive into more in a sec, how do you think he'll be embraced now as the unquestioned QB1 of this team for the start of the season?
Embraced. By who?
By the players, I think he's asking.
I do
Players,
think,
fans,
The players are good behind him.
the relationship that he has in the locker room is completely different.
Completely different.
Than the relationship that he
Players,
has.
the players react to him.
Well, we mentioned this. I was talking about this a week or two ago. The players who were here for all of the crap for the last 4.5 years are basically gone. They've turned over the entire offense.
Yeah.
So all they've got now is a bunch of young guys who don't know.
Well, they had a
better.
cutaway of Denzel Boston after one of his throws on the sidelines, just basically going,
What's going on?
What was that?
I think that reaction was to the booze.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes. I reached
Okay,
out.
good. I hope so.
I reached out to some people and they said, listen, he heard the boos and that was his reaction to them getting booed.
I hope so.
And
I hope
think
that's
about
the
it.
case.
That's even more damaging because look at it. Now, Denzel Boston, he was catching strays on Twitter.
Fans are going to get mad at him now.
They get mad at Denzel Boston because he don't like the fact that his quarterback is getting booed.
This
That's
fan
crazy.
base is like a circular firing squad. I swear to God, I've never seen anything like it. And it's not just right now. We saw the same thing when Baker was run out of town. We saw the same thing in the divide in the locker room between Odell and Baker.
Yeah.
And you had to pick a side. Guys, we've got 17 enemies this year. None of them should be us. But we're all aiming at one another in this circular firing squad, and we're all taking shrapnel.
Because even the most optimistic fan doesn't expect 10 wins this year in the playoffs.
No,
they
but
want
we don't-
for future development, and they just want to see. They don't want to see go back to this rancid path.
Right,
And
we've
that's
seen
what this
that
team has
movie.
done. That's what
Let's see
people
another
don't
bad
want,
movie.
and that's what the team is giving them under these circumstances and this timing.
Yeah. I said this. I'll stand by it. I think that by the home opener, I think there's already going to be a switch. Because
I don't think
if
there will be.
we've seen what he is.
2 games is not a lot of time.
Yeah, but we've seen him for 5 years.
I know, but
we know what he is.
But we do. But Monken, 2 games is not a lot to the head coach who just got here.
if we get outscored 65-17 in those 2 games,
Yeah, let's
Shedeur,
see how
you're
it
in.
goes.
But if
I'm
he
with
plays
you there.
game 3, he has to play game 4 because there's a 3-day turnaround and it's the Pittsburgh Steelers at home.
Yeah,
That's
you're not
going
going
to
to start
define
someone
whether
for
you're
their
going to have a
first.
season
Yeah, you're
or
not
not.
for your first start. You're
Yeah.
not going to give them 3 days short
Correct.
week.
Yeah, it's. I will say
Good
this. I think people don't realize, and I think sometimes, Todd Monken is a first-time NFL head coach. When Sundays come, I remember we all sat here and said, people don't understand that in the offseason, preseason, we can skim over stuff. But when Sunday 1 o'clock come, all that stuff you was talking about, that's out the window. Those Sundays got impact because people have to really sit there and be forced to watch it.
Yeah. If it's 31-0 halftime in the first game, he's not coming out to start the second half.
That impact is deep because it puts you in a position where sometimes you could check out. Like I actually watched the game. He was like, I was doing some other stuff. I caught the replay. Nah, Sunday come around. Every single Shedeur fan, Sanders fan will be watching. Every single person that don't like Deshaun Watson will be watching. Every single Baker fan that said you got rid of Baker for him will be watching. All of the people who don't like allegations in the beginning will be watching. People who don't like the dome move from Cleveland to go out to the Brook, they'll be watching. Every single person that didn't like the uniforms they had for 3 years, or 1 in 31, or Hewitt Jackson, or you traded Myles Garrett, they are now all watching. And they're not going to let you off the hook. So he has to play well. And if he does, listen, I'm always said, if he does, I'll give you credit. But this is moving mountains, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, the degree of difficulty right now is as high as I can imagine.
The
it's ever
Cleveland
been.
Browns, fun till 1.
I liked the tweets that said the best one sent to me was apparently rock bottom has a basement. That's what someone sent to me on Saturday
and
night
we're
or
in
Sunday
it.
morning.
Yeah, Jason, look, I'll say it right here. Look. Hey, guys, pull the camera. Give me camera 3. And look, man, I can't help you, dog. Jason Lloyd is unleashed.
Don't put this on me.
He's fully off the leash. Listen, let me just tell you what. He came in and he said, it was in March.
Yeah.
He said, they wanted to, they was going to play Deshaun Watson, and they wanted to. And he was right. They really wanted to, because guess what? After what happened on Saturday, I didn't think it was possible for them to walk this thing and put it in your lap, but it's here. So there you go, Jason.
Let me follow that up with
right.
one point. You mentioned the words, and you're right about all of it, but you mentioned the word Saturday. There were 2 tells, and it was 2 previous Saturdays. One was the practice you were there when it was supposed to be Shedeur's day, and all of a sudden Deshaun was out there, and they wouldn't give a straight
He
answer.
said, I just changed my mind.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And then the next Saturday was the preseason opener, and it was on the road, and Deshaun was fine. Everybody knows he was not great. He needed to get back. He needed that. And on the road, the head coach has to come out and talk about the relationship with the fans.
Yep.
The head coach is doing the PR work, right? In a press conference 500 miles from home.
But my question is, and I'll ask you, I saw Mary Kay talk about it. My question is, why did they play him?
I don't understand that. I'm with you.
Why did
this last week?
Yeah.
Organizational incompetence.
If he's going to be your starter, why are you playing him behind the third string offensive
There's no
line?
logic to it.
Because
They're
you're
allowing this to happen. They allowed this to happen.
Because you're exposing what you could have just let us see it.
Yeah.
Because people don't see practice. Like,
I thought he was fine with the joint practice. I mean, he threw the pick.
Yeah, but
aside from the pick, I thought he was okay. I thought he looked good.
I said,
in the
okay,
joint
he
practice.
did just enough so that it's plausible that he's going to win that position, right? Everybody thought it going into that week. Then it's a rain delay. Shedeur plays, and he runs into the tunnel, comes back out. And I said, what are they doing? It's done. Just put Dylan Gabriel in. And then that way you can hide him for 2 weeks and we'll figure it out. But you put him out there, and then he looked like that. And then now he got to talk. If he wouldn't have played, he would have never had to talk.
That's right.
And we wouldn't have seen
We
all
wouldn't
that.
none of that.
Yeah.
So my question is, why? No, just you got it. It's already in. The ballot is in. Just go ahead. Like you said, what was the analogy you said? All you had to do, you're in the back 9.
Just finish the round. Just
You guys
finish
remember
the round.
I'm seeing ghosts comment?
Sam Darnold with the Jets.
I honestly thought that what Sam's done really is to bury that guy. He buried his ghost. He came out and said, I'm seeing ghosts out there. And every football fan that's ever watched more than one game said, that guy's cooked. He's done. Tom Brady, Joe Montana, a million quarterbacks have all said the same thing about playing the position of quarterback. It starts here. You still need to have a lot of other assets, but if you don't have this, it doesn't matter what your assets are. This will roadblock everything. And Sam Darnold was in that spot. And kudos to him, man. I don't know who his counselor was, but he's fixed. He's right. And the guy who was seeing ghosts now has a Super Bowl ring. What Deshaun Watson is broken. Mentally, he is broken. We keep seeing, sometimes he makes the throws. You're like, wow, okay, that's what it used to look like. But then broken Deshaun Watson comes out. And unless this is fixed, he'll never pull a Sam Darnold. He is broken. And they're going to put him out there in week 1 to be our starting quarterback.
It's obvious. Like I said, all this toxicity, all the history, all that, he just can't play anymore. He just can't. He does not process. He does not have one standout skill that challenges defenses with any consistency. There's no reason to put him out there, and here they are.
I just think, I keep rewinding them in my head, and I keep hearing him say, I think Tony Grossi asked him the question. He says, it's hard enough playing the quarterback position as it is. Do you think that you can block out these boos? And he paused and he said, I don't know. That is, when you play in that quarterback position, bro, it can't even be no doubt in your mind on I don't know. You can't, that's why the Sam Darnold I'm seeing ghosts. When when people get in a huddle, they need to completely feel like you are Teflon. If I threw 4 picks yesterday, I got 4 touchdowns coming. If we down 25, don't worry about it. I got 28 ready to go. They need that type of security. your quarterback is the face of everything you're trying to do. And if you saying that it might be 17 road games, the 17 road games is just not you. That means your receivers, your linemen, they are at 17 away games. And that type of pressure on a team, it breaks people. It does. And I can see him at this point when he never got over the fact, and I don't agree with people. I was on the record saying you shouldn't cheer when somebody get hurt. But when he got cheered, when they cheered when he was hurt, I think that broke.
That was it.
That was the relationship right there.
And
It's
2
never
years
gonna
later, his body's healed, but his mind is not.
He hasn't got over that. And I don't think he ever will.
And it's a tough thing to get over. Maybe he needed a fresh start. You can't trade him. Nobody's going to take that toxicity on. You're stuck with him. And it's almost as if they're saying, he's what we have. He's our best option, which, again, I don't know what that says about their thoughts on Shedeur. But if him, with all of this baggage, is their best option, then Shedeur's not their best option either. And they know that better than we do. They deal with him in meetings. They see him every day. They know where he is mentally. And
do they, though?
I don't know if they do. That's a good question.
You're laying it out perfectly in a normal manner.
Ideally, they should, because they're around him, obviously, 10, 12 hours a day.
But he just came out and said he's still shaken by the past. Right?
Yeah.
And Garrett, you're pointing to the exact part of the press conference that's staggering. But before that, he said that fan base. He's still employed by the Cleveland Browns.
Didn't say ours.
That's detached.
We, us.
He is detached.
He is detached.
It's them.
That's the word.
And me.
Yep.
And I don't see how that ever. There's no bridge big
He's
enough.
a detached, toxic individual, and he's the starting quarterback.
Yeah, and here we are.
What in the world is going on?
I know. It's just the latest chapter in a book filled with chapters that you have to read to believe. And there's been things in this organization's tenure. And what kills me about it is, I get it for the younger dudes that don't remember. I'm old enough. I remember when we were relevant. And my dad lived through Jim Brown years when we weren't just relevant.
Great.
We were a cornerstone.
Pillar.
And so to see in my lifetime the Browns go from being that to what they've been for the last 30 years, I keep hearing from friends that know me and my fandom, and they said, "Is this the one that drops you to your knees? Are you finally done?" and I'm like, man, I need a standing 8 count, but I'm gonna be okay. And I just keep saying it. I'm giving the Haslam family and the ownership and the front office the benefit of the doubt that they will put out the fire that they started and build this beautiful mansion that we can all enjoy. And I'm afraid they're going to build a beautiful mansion that no one's going to enjoy, because at that price,
with that product,
I'll pay for a winner. There's no way I'm going to pay for that. In a new house or not, you can dress a pig. It's still a pig.